Yeah, tough day. You know, about 50 years ago, I started running around out here, going to get in the kicking tee when the team would kick off, and then became a water boy and ball boy and a player and assistant coach and a head coach. So, got to do all that with my dad for so long. And so, yeah, today's a tough day.
What are some
Why
of the...
now, Rob? Why not, Rob?
I've just felt like I've been struggling with this for a little bit. I've been at this for a long time and just been so blessed to have so many great memories. But, recently just started struggling with some things and, wondering if it was time to step away, And so I can promise you I prayed about it and I thought about it and did a lot to try to make sure that I was making the right decision. And it just felt like it was time, And I've heard that a million times, that you'll know when it's time. And today it was time.
What are some of the factors that went into the decision? I mean, you probably don't get to see your family a lot on Fridays and Saturdays, and there's a lot to coaching. You're all evening long.
Yeah, my family's been a part of this, so they're here almost every day, and till midnight on Friday nights, and the coaches are here till about 3 a.m. So my family luckily has been a part of it, and they've loved every second of it, and they're probably struggling with this as bad as I am. But when you start looking at this job and doing it for so long, there's still parts of it that I have a fire for, and there's still parts of it that I love. But then there are other parts of it that kind of start weighing on you, and I don't want to be a guy that's known as, well, he just hung on. I want to be either all in or not, and so there was just some parts of it, not necessarily the coaching part and the competition part and so forth, just kind of the outside stuff that just kind of starts weighing on you. And at that point in time, I felt like, man, if it's a struggle to me, it's time to go.
What's next for you? I know you said you're still going to teach and whatnot.
Yeah, my plan right now is to stay on as a teacher. I've got 30 years in the system, and so we'll kind of see what goes next. I have zero plans. I've not thrown my name in for any kind of job or anything like that. This place is special, and I'm going to hang on here until something else might happen. Yeah.
Rob, I would imagine in leaving, what you take with you are the relationships and the ability to have mentored so many young men along the way.
For me, I mean, that's kind of what I told my team this afternoon. I wanted to go 15-0 every year and win a state championship every year, and that didn't happen, and it wasn't going to happen. But man, I had my fair share, But the bottom line is the impact that you have a chance to make on these young people, and so for me, that was what I wanted to do, and. So we were fortunate to have great players and great coaches, and these guys are my best friends, that I coach with, and I love the players. I love those kids like no other, like they're my own. But the bottom line is to try to make a positive impact on those young people's lives, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that around here.
I know you care deeply about Fulton High School. Have you talked to Jody about what they might be doing next year? We had a brief discussion. I think after talking to Jody and our executive principal, Seth Smith, they're going to kind of involve me a little bit on trying to find that next guy, and it'll be my hope that guy is a guy that comes in and bottom line loves these kids, and then on top of that, he kind of does what we did, let's try to teach them some football, let's try to win a lot of football games and be competitive, but let's try to make these guys good fathers and good community people and good citizens and good employees, and if you're doing that, man, you're doing things right.
Coach, what do you think you'll miss most about not coaching anymore?
Well, just the day-to-day relationships, that's the kind that makes it really hard, if I didn't have deep relationships with my players and coaches where I got to be with them every day in that locker room and in that coach's room, that was always the great part, and that's probably what I'll miss the most. Now, the good thing is I plan on still being here, and I'll still see these guys, and I'll support them. I'll be their number one fan and all that kind of stuff, but there's no relationship like when your coaches and players are on the same page and love each other and care about each other, and same with the coaches. So that's probably going to be the biggest part that I'll miss.
How different do you think it'll be on Fridays when you're sitting in the stands,
Yeah.
maybe more so than
Yeah, I'm not good in the stands. I'll just be honest with you. Like, I don't sit in the stands very well. I may try to sit up there. I told my wife the other night, I said, she asked me, "Are you still planning on going to the games?" Or I said, "Yeah, we'll go to the games." And said, "I don't know how long I'll sit up there with you. I'll probably go down there and stand in the end zone or something like that. But I plan on being around."
When you look back through your career here, you won those 3 straight titles back to back to back. Is that one of your most fond memories? What do you think one of your most fond memories will be?
Yeah, I mean that was honestly, I mean playing here was unbelievable. I got to play for my dad, and like I said, I grew up this place. There was nothing like it. I mean, when I grew up, some people look at the NFL and the Dallas Cowboys and people like that as and it was Fulton for me. It was Fulton for me, and so. I got to play here, and that was just unbelievable. And then to come back and coach was unbelievable. And I'll never forget the day I was hired as an assistant coach, and then the day I was hired as a head coach. 2 exciting days. And today's not super exciting. It's I think it's the right thing to do, but it's not an exciting time. But the state championships were huge. And that's a goal for everybody. Like, there's not a guy that will step on one of these fields next year that doesn't want to win a state championship. But that was never just the bottom line. Now, fond memories, yes, those teams were unbelievable. Love to have those guys every year.
Coach, you talked about growing up here, being a part of programs. There's a lot of coaches that will be at a school a long time, but they don't have like that entrenched bond that you might have with this school being around it for as long. Does it make it that much harder?
It does, man. It's I told our principal and our athletic director. I wish something would have happened, and I fell out of love with this place and so forth and so on, and I just walked away, and it didn't really bother me. But yeah, I mean, again, when I was born, my dad was a coach here, and so day one, this was the place for me, and like I said, when I was old enough to actually run out there and get that tee after they kicked off and all that kind of stuff, man, it was just I couldn't wait till that day, And so, yeah, it does make it hard, I mean, if you look at that, I mean, that's 50 years, and so it makes it really tough.